Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. This week, we watched the September 29th, 1997 edition of Raw is War, and the match card is as follows. In our opening contest, we have Vader taking on the British Bulldog. Farooq takes on Ahmed Johnson in an Intercontinental Championship tournament match. Goldust takes on the Sultan. Los Boricuas take on the Headbangers in a WWE Tag Team Championship match. And in our main event, we have The Undertaker taking on Triple H with the entirety of DX. All right, guys, let's get into it.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Yeah.
Hello. Welcome, everybody. If you are new here, you are in luck. This is Kelsey. She is also new here. I am Xavier.
Yes.
I am not so new. And before we get into the episode, too far into the episode, let's it's that time of the year again, guys. We have, by the grace of somebody, been named a finalist in the best wrestling podcast category for the Sports Podcast Awards again, guys. Here we go.
Come on,
Second year in a row. So as well as our normal plea to comment, like, subscribe, all of that wonderful things, we are also going to ask you to take an extra minute out of your day and vote for us. I will post the links everywhere. They will be all over our Instagram, all over our social media, as well as in the description of every episode during the voting period, which is going to be from December 10th to January 13th. Winners will be announced at the end of January. And if you like what we do, guys, we appreciate it. Any love we'll take, really, because we're starved.
Stop. I was just gonna say, it is a drought out here, girl, and I am thirsty for affection.
Amen.
All right, girl.
100%. So this is our go home episode before Bad Blood. And
our go home episode?
Yeah, that's what they called the last episode before a pay-per-view. It's like the go home episode. It's
I feel like I've never heard that, and we're so far in it this way. There's still so much to learn.
There's still so much
That's
to
why
learn.
we're here, girl. Not the go home episode. I love that.
Yeah. So the go home episode before Bad Blood, the first ever Hell in a Cell between The Undertaker and the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, is very exciting stuff, as well as a slew of other feuds that are ongoing, and some that won't make it to the pay-per-view, which we'll discuss a little bit. But
crazy.
This one opens up with a just a rattlesnake recap. Is what I'm
the rattlesnake recap. Love that.
Thank you. Basically, it's just like a quick Stone Cold promo. He has no friends. He attacks everybody. What will he do next? And then we get the barrage of humanity that he has stunned his way through. The likes of Owen Hart, JR, Sergeant Slaughter, and of course the dead fish himself, Vince McMahon.
Ew!
Which of course they showed again, much to the chagrin of Kelsey.
And I know I'm gonna see it so much more, and I hate that for me. And excuse me, I know it's something that's withstood the test of time in terms of just
it's
horrendous
just a moment
things
because
people
it's
rewatch,
the first one,
Yeah, and it was just so poorly done.
Yes.
How did JR take it better than you, Vince? That's embarrassing.
No, honestly.
That's crazy town.
It's the eyes open. Like he's Gandalf sleeping, on the ground. That's crazy.
And you are not Gandalf, sir. No, let me just make that abundantly clear. And it's the weird. Remember when was it Farooq that was doing the twitchy leg thing, and we were like, please don't let this be your thing. But he did a twitchy
He twitched. His whole body went on went on Twitch.
Ew.
He switched to
To
Twitch.
Twitch. He's streaming on Twitch right now.
No,
I
100, no, literally.
just dead fish eyes and like
Mm.
ew, canceled. I hate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But speaking of some new things, if you are watching, let's take a moment and appreciate Kelsey's set real quick.
Oh my
For those of you
God.
listening, Kelsey got a like an OG like ECW arena sign, which is just
How
lovely
cute.
and sitting there from the bingo hall itself, as
Yes.
well as a like Sting mirror. She actually, yep, there it is. She actually has two. One broke, so
Untime had his untimely demise. Yeah, I got this one and it broke, which was devastating. I had only had it a mere few short weeks, but I loved it so much I was doing way too much with it, like taking it places that I shouldn't have, and I was punished. It broke. But then I was like, actually, how cute is that to just
right.
hang it? But I have two now. And thank God because this was I think the last one that she had unless she's making more. But I got this from not sponsored, but I got this from this company on Etsy called Degeneration Hex, which obviously is a play on Degeneration X.
Love that.
Oh, that's also where I got girl. I've been going crazy. I got my Undertaker cup. She
Guys, when
had
I say like the amount of like wrestling merch Kelsey has acquired in the last year, I am
okay.
living for. No,
Oh,
zero
thank
judgment.
you.
So proud.
Thank
There,
you.
there
Okay, I
is,
thought this was
first of
going in.
all,
I thought this was my intervention, and I was like, wait,
no, all I wear are like wrestling like merch and band tees. So I am never in a
yes,
place to
to
be
judge.
passing judgment.
And I
But
love that.
as far as like literally starting this journey knowing nothing to like going to the gym decked out in wrestling gear, so proud.
Oh
So
my God.
proud.
Thank you so much. I love that. Thank
Like
you. I'm
inviting in like see the thing about Kelsey and I is we are not overtly social people. Like generally we're not like yeah,
no
we're
girl.
not we're generally not a come talk to me folk.
We're
Um
generally a little prickly.
right. Some
Horrible.
might say resting bitch face.
Heavy.
Especially yeah.
Heavy.
Like people don't sit next to me on the train. Like, you know
Mm-mm,
what I mean? Like
mm-mm.
no one like actively unless that shit is full, they walk by, they go, no, and
Not
keep
him.
going. And which is exactly what I want. It's
Exactly.
but
Same.
um I at work especially like the cafe, welcome any and all wrestling questions. I
Yes. Me
field them all day.
too.
I will become a worse barista to answer your wrestling questions. Because I
Amen.
live for it. Like bring a little sunshine in my day, really.
Yeah, and I hate being spoken to at the gym because normally I go there in like a blind rage just to like sweat and be angry and not hit anybody. And then so I really don't want people to talk to me, but when people point at my shirt and then like we start talking, I'm like, "Yes, like
You
let us
get it.
discuss." Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Also before I forget, the ECW sign in case anyone asks is from another Etsy shop called I believe it's called The Throwback Store.
Love that.
If not, I'll correct myself next week, but it is like it's like legit. It's like wood. It's so nice. It's so well made. And
Mm-hmm.
he makes a lot of other like vintage cool memorabilia signs. So love that man. Thank you, sir. And the Degeneration Hex store where I got like the mirror and the cup, she has ladies, if you want HBK lashes
Oh my
or
God.
fellas, no judgment from me, girl.
Dick.
But they have incense. She's got shirts. She has earrings. I can't wait to pull up the earrings I got just specifically for the Kane episode. I had a great time
Love that.
there.
I love
So
that.
shout out to all the baddies who make cool wrestling memorabilia stuff and merch, and I just love you so much and thank you for your service because we will be among the ranks with you someday. But
Love
for now,
that.
I'm just enjoying catching the rays off of your brilliance. Thank you.
Love that. Love that. All right, let's continue. So, the actual episode begins as far as live content goes with a little interview segment between Vince McMahon and Shawn Michaels and all of DX. I love that Vince McMahon immediately goes like first question, I like how he wants to talk to like the adult in the room. He like goes to Rick Rude and he's like, "Why are you here?" Like
I mean, who's paying you? You know,
no,
going to the adult in the room, literally though.
literally, like, or at least that's how it feels.
It did, yeah.
And
Who's
he
the chaperone for this day camp group? Because they are
100%.
rowdy.
He's like, which one of these gentlemen is your benefactor, really? And you're like, okay. And of course, Rude, in true Rude fashion, doesn't answer anything. Just goes, I adhere to a strict confidentiality like clause. And I'm like, okay, sure.
But that's what I would want to hear. If I'm paying that man the money I'm paying him, this better be the response every
Mm-hmm.
time. Is like
And
lockdown.
Roots goes as far to be like, to Vince, he's like, actually, I think you might need my services. It seems like you got like some people like coming after you. And I love this line from like Rude. He's like, you can pay now or you can pay later. And it's like,
Pay
ooh,
me now or pay later, girl. And
right.
that's real as hell.
That's real
And
as hell.
when the read is a business proposition because you are in fact in danger, girl, I would just go home. That
Right.
would hurt my feelings. I'd be like, he might be right, and that's
No,
bad.
100%. He can't go home though. He got work to do.
But
Uh, And then Vince gets real bold. He like calls Shawn Michaels the wise ass of the WWF, and you're like, that's how we're starting. Got it, got
right
it.
off the
I mean,
rip.
granted, he's definitely been getting less and less respect from the superstars of the WWF as time goes on, which is
Yes.
how I love it. Just saying.
That's
Uh,
the flavor I like.
so funny. And HBK responds to the wise ass comment with, didn't Austin break that stack of dimes you call a neck? Are you really trying to like tempt fate like again? You want to do that? You want to something to happen again? Like that's crazy.
The
Uh
stack of dimes you call a neck
so funny.
is crazy. I
So
have never
funny.
heard that before.
No, so good. So
That
good.
stack of dimes, the smallest coin currency we offer.
He said, yeah, he said, oop.
Fierce. Love that.
Crack that on the counter, bitch. Uh,
So
um,
satisfying. It better than cracking an egg, let me tell you.
I yeah, honestly.
Bah.
And then that takes us into a quick little recap video package of DX beating up the Undertaker, of course, prompted by Shawn Michaels. He's like, "See, like, look, I have nothing to fear. Like, I've already been like had the Undertaker." And you're like, "You had help." Lots
He
of help.
Thank you. I literally said, I was like,
Like,
he keeps saying we, and they keep reiterating that no one can get in or out of the cage.
right,
So you keep all this we, like we're French.
right,
And I'm just saying it's uno, like Spanish. Like it's
right,
just you, baby. Like
right.
I don't know
100%. No, good
you and the
luck.
dead man. That's
Right,
it. But okay.
but good luck.
But
Um,
we.
I love this. This is the first time, I'm pretty sure this is the first time we hear Triple H be referred to as Triple H, instead of by his full
Oh,
Christian name, Hunter Hearst
under his
Helmsley.
Helmsley. I didn't even
Uh,
notice
but this was
that.
kind of Shawn Michaels, like, kind of introducing it. A lot of things that, like, especially like with DX is like them just going out and doing it and then asking for forgiveness later. You know what I mean?
And I feel
Um,
like that not only works for who they are as real people, but it works for their character also. Like, I'm just gonna do it and beg for forgiveness. Not even
yeah,
beg, just be like, oh, I bet they do that like gaslighter thing that it's not gaslighting quite, but it's like, oh, come on, it was fine. And they're like,
right,
no, that was crazy. Like, wait, what? It really wasn't that big of a deal.
right. No, we'll talk. But
Woo!
then, no, I'm just kidding. No. um, so Sean basically like tosses the mic to Triple H and is like, here, air your grievances. Like now's your time to shine, baby.
And
Pop
that's my
off.
friend.
100%. He said, sing to me, Paolo, you know? And so um
Have
so
you ever?
basically he addresses Vince McMahon. He's like, so you've always been afraid of clicks, haven't you? And you're like, oh, here we go. here it
Guys,
begins. And he's like, this is one click, you won't be breaking up. And we're like, oh, there we go. And then he goes to say, I had to sit back for years and watch you spread your legs like a cheap whore over uh WWF superstars that couldn't lace up my boots. And you're like,
woo,
oh my God, not the
years.
WWF being had like a hussy. I
A
can't.
girl, she's a streetwalker,
So
spreading
funny.
her legs. I love the term spreading legs. It's so
So
like
funny. Oh my
there's
God.
something so cinematic about it.
It's like curtains
Spreading
opening.
the literally though, but the spreading your legs for superstars that couldn't even lace up my boots,
Love that.
fierce. That
Love
is
that.
so good.
Mm-hmm.
Such a serve.
So, Sergeant Slaughter comes out in just a tizzy. He's just real upset. Which is crazy because homie had other things to attend to this evening that he was just sleeping on the job on.
My
I can't
God.
do this. I can't do this like I'm everywhere. I am the authority. I am the law sometimes. And then you just like be letting shit happen. Like you just like, okay, F it.
I really don't understand
Like,
his role.
right, right. Because the commissioner was supposed to be like the law, the authority, the
I thought it,
like
yeah, I thought it was gonna give almost like umbrage. Like I'm coming in to like tighten up things, and then suddenly he has like a goon squad of like
right.
uppity wrestlers that like work under him and like help like maintain order or something. Like I thought it was
Right.
gonna maybe go like that
I could
route.
see it. I could see it. Especially like Ken Shamrock, those early days, like the that I hate bullies nonsense would have been great.
Yes,
Would
would
have
have
been
been so
great.
good. And like Vince McMahon is like the minister of magic, and he's like, no, not everything is fine. La la la, like
Right. No, Delulu. Ugh.
or fine. And then for some reason, like Stone Cold is like Voldemort. I don't know, like,
Mm.
but in a good
Oh,
way
yeah, 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 yeah. In the less murderous. Um,
because he's doing like crazy shit, and Vince is just like kind of letting it happen. They're like, get
right.
rid of him, and they're like, no, no. It's like it kind of is giving Delulu Minister of Magic.
No, fully. Just like he's not real. And you're like,
Yeah, the threat doesn't exist.
sure, Dan, sure.
Mm.
So Sergeant Slaughter basically is like Taker will be a bad blood, and as far as you're concerned, Triple H, your luck has run out tonight because you will be taking on the Undertaker in the main event. And you're like, oh, oh, they seem not happy,
I
real
love when
upset about that.
I love when they find out they're in the main event in the moment. Like
Yes.
we had nothing planned, so guess what? You're fighting the Undertaker. Whoop.
Whoop.
See
Um,
ya.
so this prompts the Heart Foundation to come out, which is honestly
Okay.
this felt just very underwhelming. Maybe it's just because like I I don't know. I love Bret Hart. His strong suit is not the microphone.
It's
He
not.
he will tell you that himself,
It's a
but
crime.
it just isn't. So he comes out and basically addresses Shawn and Hunter, and he's like, "You guys have more problems than just Undertaker." He's like, "You have committed crimes against the Hart Foundation," and essentially he's like, You start paying for those crimes tonight," and then they like leave. You know what I mean? Like I half expected them to like all have like capes to be like tonight. Ugh.
Oh, so true.
And like turn into
Seriously.
bats and fly away.
They
Um,
could have used the flags, maybe. I'm tired of this
no.
tandem flag waving. I hate it.
Oh,
And I also
fully.
like at this point, the beef between them is almost like so far removed. I kind of like forgot what they were fighting about.
No,
When they
right.
came out, I was like, "Why are you guys out here?" And then I was like, "Oh, right, like,
Well, I mean, they did just like do the Bulldog real dirty. Like,
oh,
did just do the Bulldog real dirty.
oh, yeah, whoops." But
So
yeah, that was pretty bad. And they even showed the recap. I already forgot.
no, yeah, it's okay. I get it.
Terrible.
No, well, they go into the recap of One Night Only, the whole main event. We like they were really on the recap this evening.
Yeah, they did a lot. You said it. You were like, it's giving filler. Like they did a lot of
A
recapping.
lot of recap. Like One Night Only got a lot of screen time, and like I get it. It was one night only, so maybe like they're not playing it again. You gotta catch it, like whatever. But damn, I've seen this main event now thrice,
Yeah,
almost in its
like
entirety.
they might as well have just played it from start to finish, and we might as well
At
just
this point,
watched
again,
it again.
um, I will say after this little like recap segment, there is a sign behind. There's two signs. There's double-sided. Behind Vince McMahon, one of them just says "toupee" with an arrow down, and then the other
Amazing.
one says "dyslexia 613," and I'm dead.
That is so funny.
So funny, so good. I was like,
So good. Dyslexia
dyslexia
36
61.
or 63, whatever it was. Years. That
So
is so
funny.
funny. Even the
Uh,
toupee with the little arrow.
so
Again,
good.
less is more sometimes.
No, with the sign, yeah. Because I don't I first of all, you're on camera like
For a
maybe
blip.
like 5 seconds if you're lucky. So like
Yes.
I need to be able to like capture the mood of whatever it is you're trying to get at quick.
Immediately.
No, 100, yeah. I want to feel the impact now. Like I shouldn't have to like squint and like turn my head to try and get your sign like legible.
Yeah. And honestly, it's so crazy how quickly the My Name 316 got played out. Like every other sign is like Chris 316,
Right.
like Janet 360. It's like we get it.
Right.
You're so clever. Like it got played out so fast.
So fast.
But dyslexia 63-1 or whatever,
Yeah.
61-3 or whatever it was,
So
that's
funny. That is
really
so
funny.
funny.
A
Yeah,
plus to
well
that
played.
person. I
Um,
just know they like ended up going to MIT or something. Like good for you.
kudos. Well, hopefully.
Yeah.
Um, So that takes us into our first contest, which is the British Bulldog taking on Vader. The Bulldog's knee is very not 100% still.
No.
He's got it wrapped up, doesn't have a new knee brace just yet. But apparently those are like custom made and like it takes time for those things to
And
get.
Diana used it to choke out
No,
Pickles.
fully.
She said, I don't care.
No,
Real as
absolutely.
hell.
Of course we get, Big Bad Vader. He comes in. Jerry has a funny line about Vader. He goes, if Vader gets any bigger, he's gonna have to start wearing license plates. And I thought that was great. I
That
thought that
is
was
kind of
so funny.
funny.
Um, Bulldog very impressively drops Vader on the guardrail at one point in the match.
With
Crazy.
ease. I said
With
it looked like he was hanging out his laundry. Just boop, boop.
just chilling. Yeah, he's so strong. It's like stupid. It is like deceptive, especially
Yeah.
now that he's like dropped a couple like pounds. He looks like not as big, but he's still just a freak of nature.
He is
So strong.
so crazy.
And that's with that is with one like wonky wheel. Like
Wonky wheel.
you
Me.
need like support to lift 400 pounds and he has not that much of it like and still did it.
So
Fantastic.
amazing.
Vader does get his receipt though. Later on in the
Mm.
match, tosses his ass right over the rail as well.
And period.
Bulldog's leg gets worse as the match progresses. You can tell like he's hurting by the way. Like he takes like regular moves that have nothing to do with the leg, and he like feels it in his leg. I
Mm.
watched him take a suplex, and then both of his legs like, of course, like hit the ground, and he's just like freaks out for a second. Like, and I'm like, ooh, sorry, buddy, that
That
sucks.
knee.
That is rough.
That's rough,
Um,
girl.
so as the match is progressing, Owen comes in with a flag. The rest of the Hart Foundation comes in with more flags. Um, this is all leading up to the flag match between the Patriot teaming with Vader, taking on the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart, and the British Bulldog. Again, seems a bit odd to me that the WWF Championship's not on the line on another pay-per-view, but here we are.
Okay. Right.
Um, right. So we're like, all right, sure. So of course, Owen comes in, Vader wins by disqualification. Of course, the Patriot comes in. They're still outnumbered. Doesn't really do anything. It's
Yeah.
still 4-on-2. Brett has figure fours for everybody,
Everyone gets
as
one.
if it's Halloween candy.
Mhm.
And then over like the Patriots and Vader's like dead carcass, they just like lay the Canadian flag over them. And you're like, all right, cool. Um,
Okay.
we'll see that more on that later.
Crazy.
Again, it's just the whole Canada versus America thing. I'm just kind of over it.
I know. And I literally, it's funny, I just said I'm tired of the flags though. The flag match does get to me sometimes because I love like a weird random
Well,
objective.
at least it has a purpose. Like
Yes,
instead
if
of
the
just
flag has a purpose. Yes, okay, thank you.
right, because
Um,
otherwise it's just like, I'm sorry, you are not as good as any color guard I've ever seen. Please stop.
and we've seen Color Guard Girl.
Yeah,
Uh,
yes.
so, but I just think it's funny the link up of Vader and the Patriot, but like, okay,
Sure.
the grizzly bear and the masked man. I don't know.
I know, but I feel like Vader's entire like run in the WWF has just been like him being put with someone random.
So
It's
true.
just like him and someone random. It's like him and Owen, him
And
and
then,
Mankind. Like,
oh yeah, girl, what was that? And also,
right.
they're like, he's not managing him anymore, is he? Because Paul's just has not been here. Like, Vader's just been doing his own thing.
Yeah, I guess not.
Like,
Zero resolution on any of that.
I really can't. Poor Vader. He really gets like shuffled everywhere. But he really grew on me. Like I
Hmm.
really love him now. When he comes out, I get like so psyched. And I feel like there were a lot of people who were psyched to see him in the audience. Like there was a lot of people throwing up
People
the
love
V.
Vader.
I love that guy. But you're so right. He does get shunted around a lot for what?
Right. It's like you have this like crazy like villain like right there.
And
Like
they almost make him like a big bumbling idiot, which like kind of pisses me off.
right. Because like real
He's
like
none of those things except big.
right. I'm just like, no, I want Vader scary. I want Vader like
Me, like I'm trembling in my boots.
no, 100%. Like I'm scared of what he can do to me physically. Like he
Yeah.
hurts. Like, you know what I mean? Like so
Yeah, it's almost like they have like the Undertaker who really like strikes fear in people, so they like just don't pay attention, like give Vader the
I
energy
know,
that
which
he
is crazy
needs.
because it's just like he's so good and so big and
I was literally thinking that for how big he is so
so
like
athletic.
mobile, agile,
Hmm.
hostile. And again, like when we watched that Halloween Havoc episode with Harley, I know we were literally just talking about this like last week, but
It's
with
fine.
Harley Race and stuff, I just was like, that is the Vader I want. And now that
Hmm.
I've seen it, I can't not
Unsee
know
it.
that.
Yeah. Well,
So,
yeah, it's very like kind of like I don't know. I don't want to say like common knowledge, but like that this version like is just kind of like watered down. Like it just isn't
yeah,
it isn't like Big Van Vader from WCW. So,
Big Van Vader.
mhm.
So sad.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So, more on that. There will be a flag match at Bad Blood. But that takes us into our next contest, which is the Intercontinental Championship Tournament semifinal match between Farooq and Ahmed Johnson. Farouk's really just been sailing his way through this tournament. He didn't win his opening contest
Mm,
against Ken, moved on anyway.
mm.
Like gets put in this match with Ahmed Johnson, technically doesn't win either, still moves on to the final. Crazy.
So
So,
crazy.
Ahmed John, of course, Farouk comes out with all of the nation. They do their whole thing. Nation, domination. Yeah, we get it. Ahmed Johnson comes out and he's flanked by the Legion of Doom and Ken Shamrock. And we were like, okay, good. Get yourself some backup.
So
Um,
great.
Love to see it. And unfortunately, we also saw the return of the choker, which I could have done
Oh.
without. This fit from Ahmed Johnson felt like he was like, I bought all that black stuff for for being in
Yes.
and I'm gonna use them. Damn
I'm
it.
getting my money's worth. You're so right.
Right. It felt like a very
Oh,
like a mismatch of like his two like looks. And I was like, all right.
yeah, so weird. Like Ahmed Johnson was giving mismatch, LOD was giving LOD realness, and Ken said, "I'm just gonna wear jeans."
Yeah, just
Jeans
jeans.
and a black belt, no shirt.
Got duh,
And thank
duh.
you. And thank
Um,
you.
so we find out that the injury that Ahmed Johnson sustained to his hand last week was due to an exposed nail.
Girl,
I hope somebody
what?
got fired.
I
Like,
swear I hope he has a tetanus shot. Like, what do you mean? I was like, this is because didn't we say last week we're like Jerry said something about Ahmed being accident prone, and I was like, I'm not trying to be a hater, but like he kind of is. Like
right.
an exposed nail on
How did you find that?
how did that happen? That
That's
is crazy.
bonkers. So apparently he can't, he like is putting off surgery again to do this
He
and
probably
like
has like gangrene.
can't feel his like pinky finger or ring finger, and is like his hand is so bandaged up it just kind of looks like it's just like a marshmallow, and you're like, what is happening? Like, why are we letting this man wrestle? Crazy. So of course Farouk
Wild.
goes for the hand. Obviously, because
Well,
what else would you do when
right.
your opponent has a target on them? Um, Ahmed Johnson, just a shout out to him. That scissors kick he did, brutal, amazing. Looked real good, looked
Crazy.
real scary, right on
Yeah.
the money. Um, and then Ahmed Johnson like loses his mind. He done loses his mind. They're
What
on the outside
was
of the ring.
this?
They're like feuding, like battling, doing whatever they're doing. And Ahmed Johnson grabs the ring steps, just starts wailing on Farouk. And of course, the referee's like, excuse me, and then gets walloped for his trouble. And we're like, that's very uncharacteristic, Ahmed Johnson. Like, I know you're like big piss, but like, what's going on here? Because you're supposed to be the good guy in this scenario.
Very strange.
So here we
Smacked the shit
are.
out of the ref for no reason.
Crazy. Crazy,
And so he
crazy.
gets disqualified. He's
Yes.
Ahmed Johnson's been having a bad run, girl.
Yep.
I don't know what the turner like. Does he need to join some sort of new
Something.
faction? I don't know. Does he need to start up a biker gang? Like what does he need? Like I just
Something. He needs some juice. I don't
he needs
know.
some juice, girl. I mean, is he should have brought out the shoulder pads. I don't know. At least feel like you're part of LOD. Like what does he
Give me
need?
something. I don't know. Like I just he's been floundering. And of course,
Attacking the
and honestly,
ref?
like, of course they were gonna make him lose if he's gotta go and get his hand fixed now. Like,
True.
so who knows when, like, realistically the next time we're gonna see him is.
Oh
Like,
my God, Ahmed.
right,
What
so
happened, sweetie?
we'll
Who came
see.
in, messed up your kidney, and it's been a curse ever since.
Ugh, no, honestly.
What a sin.
Honestly. So, that takes us into another segment of the Brian Pillman Triple X Files. Dear Lord. This one comes to us fresh from the hotel room, I guess. And Marlena and Brian Pillman are just laying in bed. Marlena looks terrified.
Horrible.
Yeah, just absolutely scared,
Horrified,
scared for
terrible.
her life, like reliving trauma. Like it's not whatever she's going through, not looking great. Made me very
No.
uncomfortable.
Very harrowing. And it's funny because I feel like I'm eating my own words because I think like when the first X-Files thing came out and I was like, unless I see Marlena in that bed, I will not believe it. And then
Right,
they were like, let's put Marlena in this bed. And I was like,
right.
God damn
No,
it.
fully. We were like, prove it.
And then they were like, okay,
Bad. So
needed.
Pillman goes in basically being like, oh, like I'm beat. And he's like, I'm bushed even. And you're like, I'm gonna fucking vomit everywhere. And basically Pillman, the gist of it all is that he's not going to fight Dude Love unless there are some restrictions placed on Goldust. He's like, Goldust is a maniac. He's coming after me, uh, from behind. He just keeps attacking me. So like he's like, there's no way I'm doing it unless unless he's handcuffed to the ring post.
They love to do that.
They love to do that. It's
They
like a
love to handcuff the girlies to the ring
they
post.
love to cuck them. They really do. So I mean, am I wrong?
No.
Um,
And it's like the really apropos time to use that
no,
too.
very
The
very much so.
situation is like this is the time.
So basically, yeah. Pillman's not gonna fight Dude Love unless Goldust is handled, basically. And I just have another note that says Marlena looks sick. Just looks absolutely sick to her stomach. He's like
She,
we like touching her. She's like literally as far on the corner as she could possibly be. Ugh.
but I can't believe so
Ugh.
much time has passed already.
I know. It's been like a month almost. The month is
Yeah, they
almost
said
over.
7 days. They said 7 days left.
Yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, again, she just sells the shit out of it. I just like she
Yeah.
makes me so uncomfortable, and that's the point. Like
Yeah.
looking at
Very,
her makes me feel sick, but in the way that it's supposed to.
very much so. And the sad part about all of this is that we won't see the conclusion of this.
Oh yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, if you are new, Brian Pillman passes away on the day of Bad Blood. He is found in his hotel room after an apparent heart attack. He has kind of always had a lot of health issues. It's not like new to Brian Pillman. I think it just kind of something caught up, essentially pushed his body a little too far. And yeah, so what's crazy is that like we've done all of this like build up and then we just like that,
That is
someone's gone.
so crazy.
Yeah.
I cannot even fathom that. It is so, I will say it's really, and this is so stupid, but it is so strange watching people that we know we're gonna die. Like
Very, yeah.
it's
And
kind of
especially like
dark.
so soon. Like
Yes.
because
Like,
we were watching and I was like, he won't be here next week, like on the planet. Like
yeah,
like
really crazy. And it's weird knowing that
right.
and watching it and being like, and he's so embroiled in something so like this is a bigger storyline than he's had in a minute. Like,
Right.
and
Ever since
then
the gun and the Austin
yes,
thing.
the B&E, yeah.
Right.
Um, and like I just cannot even begin to understand that. So crazy.
So crazy.
What a sin.
So, yeah. So that this is the
This
last
is it.
TV appearance of Brian Pillman. We won't.
And it's like being grotesque and feeling up Marlena in
Yeah.
bed.
Yeah.
Wow. But
But
that
yeah.
means we're gonna have to watch his After Dark episode or his Dark Side of the Ring episode.
Very true. Very true.
Wow.
So
I'm excited to see that because I really don't know that much about him.
yeah. 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 So soon. 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 Soon.
Soon, soon, soon.
So that leads us into our next match because that is going to be Goldust taking on the Sultan. With Dude Love joining us on commentary. We love to
Love
see
to
it.
see it.
Love to see it. Love that guy.
Yeah.
Basically, he's showing his support for Goldust.
A
The whole
man's
match.
man.
So I have this note that's just like I like the makeup on Goldust this week. I thought it was really cool, very
Love.
like Darby Allin-esque.
I
Uh,
was literally thinking that because it
mhm.
almost has that like, the tree thing that
Yeah,
Darby Allin has. I love that. It was really good. Like the lines of the skull were almost like cracking or like
right.
branch like. It was really, really good.
Yeah,
And
I liked it a lot. And I
he
like this like half face thing he does
I'm
because it
into
fits the
this.
storyline, because it's not
Yes.
just like Goldust being weird, you know what I mean? It's like, no, you're affecting the man, like the man, my relationship, my wife, like, you know what I
Yes.
mean?
I
So
think
it's
they
good to see his face.
Yes, they did this. They played this well in terms of the subtleties, except for that one time Jerry was disgusting and like really pissed me off and pissed both of us off and was like,
Right.
"You're ruining it," because there's like obviously an overt grotesqueness, but also the subtleties of like the the
Of,
character
of the
things that are
characters
happening.
dealing with it. Like,
Yes, because even the on the commentary team, they're kind of saying his like civilian name more. They're like, or this is really affecting Goldust, or should I say Dustin Reynolds, like, or
right.
whatever. And
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
like the half, it's really so well done.
I agree.
And then some people ruin it.
Very much so.
But
So we find out that if Dude Love wins this weekend, then Goldust gets a no disqualification match with Pillman. Again,
It won't happen.
Won't happen. Um,
Easy.
I have a note that says the Sultan's doing very well for this match. Again, I love it. The inconsistency with this man is absolutely crazy. He's like
Baffling.
losing squash matches like on pay-per-views that we didn't even know he was on.
Yeah.
He like disappears for months at a time. He like shows up and he's the big bad, goes away, loses all the time, and then all of a sudden comes back and is like actually like in the match and is like in the storyline, hanging with a former Intercontinental Champion. And you're like, what is this booking? What is this? Like,
I
do we like
swear.
this man or do we not like this man? Do we think that he has potential or do we not think he has potential? Because like the way we use him is trash, garbage, poo poo. Just
Thank
say
you. Trash
trash.
garbage caca.
No,
Swear. Because I was actually, I'm so glad you said this because I feel like this was one of his best showings. I was like,
agreed.
okay, T. I was like, I could be a little afraid of this man.
Right. And you know what? Like, it was honestly the least I've seen out of his like sidekicks, like his
Yes.
managers. You know what I mean? Like they were there, but like just let the man wrestle. Like he's
Let
good.
them yes, he actually again, same thought. I was like, I feel like this is the best he's been as far as I can remember. And I
Right.
will say, like you said, the memory is few and far between, but
That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
So yeah, it's just the inconsistency of the Sultan really like does my head in. But he did really well in this match. Like, he was
so
really
good.
like in it. I think he did a really great job of like keeping Dustin like um on the ropes, keeping him busy, keeping him, just down. I feel like he had his number for like most of the match.
Hmm.
I do want to give a little gold star to Dude Love because, of course, Jerry on commentary would not stop talking about Marlena because he is the single biggest horn dog that has ever lived.
Hmm.
And Dude Love goes, if this guy gets on Marlena's case anymore, I might just have to give him a little sweet chin music under the table. And I was like, thank you. Somebody said it. Jesus.
Like
Uh,
so amazing on Dude Love's part because like did it set it in character, but also was like, no, I'll literally kick you.
right.
Shut up.
No, like you're being gross. Stop. Because at one point, Jerry literally goes, I got a little excited, like watching the
Ew.
X-Files. And I was like,
No one wants to know that you got like you went at half mass. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
no, no one
no
needs to
one
know
wants to
that.
know you got a.
No one needs to know. No one wanted to know. No one needs to know. Um,
Nobody
and
asked.
also seek a therapist. Because you're looking at like an abusive, like sexual scenario, and you go, I
I
love that.
got a little
I
hard.
like that. That's what I like. That's what I like. And you're like, you.
Makes me just want to
So
peel my
gross.
skin off and
Right.
just be a skeletal system.
I will say for all of the unfortunateness that is the storyline like ending, at least I don't have to listen to Jerry like go on and on and on about what Brian Pillman is possibly doing or not doing with Marlena. So I will say at least next week will be a new day in that room.
So true. Ugh, just it's just really interesting that and I know he's a color commentator, whatever. And again, we had that moment where we had the juxtaposition with him and what's his name?
Jim Cornette.
Jim Cornette, thank you. And I just think it's so crazy you would really want to be like known for this. And I
Right.
guess like you never know what the future's going to be like, but just to be like so predatory
It
and
did,
just be
yeah,
like, yes, I am willing to have this exist in a public space forever on one of the most watched television shows
ever.
forever.
Yep.
So
Yep.
fascinating.
Crazy.
A real anthropology study watching WWE, I will say. I'm learning so much.
Amen. So the match finishes up when Goldust hits a bulldog, gets he basically like stacks him in a pin, like to get the pin.
Hmm.
And so Goldust picks up the victory, and yeah, much needed. Love to see it.
I'm happy for him. I really
Uh,
am.
Really and truly. So during that match, it was announced that Stone Cold Steve Austin had arrived in the building, which I thought was just hilarious because the entirety of the episode, they keep cutting to this like security cam footage of like one security guard standing in front of like six doors, and we're all just like waiting for like Austin, but they keep cutting to the same security camera, like, and you're just like, just tell me when AS here. Like, I don't need to see nothing.
The
Like, I
live
don't.
footage, I don't need to see it.
No, like I'm good. Save your CCTV for the police. Like I don't need this.
Swear. And
Like,
again, the six doors, I actually would have loved it if he came through like one of the ones at the end and
no,
just like walked
fully.
in and was like, hello.
Like fully just I would have loved it if the guy's back like he didn't notice.
Didn't even notice.
Like
Yeah.
just like Pink
Because
Panthered his way into the building, you know?
D D D
So
D
good.
D.
So of
Swear.
course Austin beelines it for the ring, grabs a microphone, and he basically like before his music's like even done, he's like just staring down Vince. He's like, I heard you had something to say.
I heard you was talking shit. Get
So
up
good.
here.
He literally runs down to the commentary table. He's and like, of course, like he's like calling Vince and he's like, let's go. Get your ass in the ring. So much
Real
so
as
that
hell.
like um Austin does the thing that wrestlers do for like usually like ladies or like people that aren't really wrestlers. They'll like bend the ropes down a little bit so like you can get in. He's like, here you go.
It's almost like the wrestling version of like a curtsy.
No, exactly.
Just like
Very that. So he's like, let's go. And then he basically is just like, he's like, you got something to say? Like, let's go. I'm all ears. Here you go. He just shoves the mic like at his chest.
so
Um,
good.
Basically Vince and granted, like, if you think of it, like I know we hate Vince because we hate Vince. But like if you just think of it from like a character's perspective of it, like it tracks. He's like, I've kind of let you do what you want to the detriment of people that work for me.
Yes.
And you're like, well, I mean, yeah, you kind of have. But he's like, but no more. And then Austin goes, oh, it sounds like you're getting ready to fire me. So if you're gonna fire me, I'm gonna need you to sack up and do it. Say it with your chest. And you're like, this is great. I
It
love to
was
see it.
really, really good.
So basically, Vince like gathers up all the cojones he's got, and he's like, "You have three options. Basically, you can come next week with a doctor's note, which we know that no doctor in his right mind is going to sign, saying that you can compete. Two, if you choose to compete, you need to absolve the WWF of any and all responsibility for anything that happens to you, because this is your choice. So if you get hurt, it's your fault. And again, as a business owner and as, you know, a character, makes sense.
That's fair.
Makes sense.
Honestly, that's fair.
And then he goes, and then your third option, he's like, unfortunately, like I'm gonna do what I would have to do, and that's termination. Um,
I mean, fair.
but
I also love, well, I don't love, but you know, when you're in trouble and like your parents give you options and like two of them are like not viable, it gives
right,
you almost like the illusion of choice.
right,
It's like you have to choose to do the right thing, even though like two of the options don't even
right.
like they're just not
No,
viable.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
it was just good. It was just well done. Like
I
again,
love
like
that.
I really don't have a choice except to go crazy and sign the paperwork relieving anyone of liability so I can go buck wild. And that is
Right.
also the version that we want to see of Stone Cold anyway.
Anyway, yeah.
That's what we want anyway. Like
Right.
this is so genius.
So yeah, so Austin responds to that. He's like, first of all, no doctor knows my neck better than I know my neck. And he's like, second of all, he's like, I might sign you. He's like, you can bring your little piece of paper down. I might sign it or I might shove it up your ass. Like, really depends on how I'm feeling that day.
Crazy.
And then basically, and then he doesn't even address the termination thing. He just goes into like, I will just kick your ass. Like,
I'll just beat the shit out of you. He's like, I don't know.
lo-
I love him.
love to see it.
I
Uh,
I just can never tell if he's angry, if he's happy, if he's whatever. He's just one speed, and that's just I'm going to kick your ass regardless.
Right, 100%. And then I love it as like Austin's like getting ready to leave. He just like keeps running back to the commentary desk and keeps like messing with Vince. And then as his final like parting shot, Vince is like sitting down, like getting with his like headset on. Stone Cold runs over and it's just like, for you, two birds for you, fuck you. And you're just like, okay, damn. Like, and you're like, this is live
He
television. Live television. Love to see it.
he is such a little shit starter, and I love it.
I know. I love it.
Eat it up. Eat
No,
it
they're
up.
petty.
I
I
love
love
the
it.
I love the little petties. I
Uh,
love them.
So good. So that takes us into our next contest, which is a WWF Tag Team Championship match between the Headbangers and Los Boricuas. This time, different combo of the Los Boricuas than we got last week. Last week it was Savio and Miguel. This week it's Jose and Jesus. Yeah, here we are. So new look for Los Boricuas. They went New Yorican.
Girl.
They said, we're ditching the fedoras, we're ditching the matching colors, we're just going like 1997 New York City. Like, and you're like, okay.
And honestly, I like it better than what they've been wearing because the fedoras are gone. Thank God. Amen.
Right.
Thank you, God.
Right.
But it was literally because the headbangers kind of dress in their version of civilian clothes, and then like the Los Boricuas in their version. I was like,
Yeah.
again, it's the Sharks versus the Jets. Like, I'm just
No,
waiting for the
very
snapping. I wasn't mad
100%.
about it though. I
No, but
kind
I
of
just felt
liked
kind of
it.
like random. Like I was just like, wait, last week y'all were matchy matchy like to the nines, and like
It's
all
like
of a
they
sudden,
forgot their they lost their luggage or something, and this is what they had to wear. But Xavier was like, "Why would they put this outfit on this patient?"
oh, yeah, it's listen, if you're already of a pear shape, I don't think you really need to choose clothes that is going to make you look more like a pear. I don't think like that is should be your objective. I'm so sorry.
It
I
was
know
so
like you
funny.
were into the fit. I was very confused. I was like, you're doing this man dirty because that is like a 5'7" Puerto Rican man, and you made him look like a dollop of sour cream and some jeans. And that's not right. Like that is not right.
And it's actually, now that you say that, me going, why? I think he looks so cute.
No, exactly.
Not good,
That's what I'm
actually.
saying.
Not good, actually. Oh my God, it's
Uh,
really funny. And then
so good.
also, I was going like, because I don't know, I don't remember which one was wearing the hoodie and the flannel, and
Oh,
I literally was like, I mean, yeah, like this is very, because you were like they went full Rican, and I go, yeah, I mean like the hoodie and the flannel, and Xavier goes, that's literally what I'm wearing.
literally what I am wearing. Me and Jesus matchy matchy to the nines.
Didn't even
I
notice. I was like, yeah, girl,
I could have joined those Boricuas. Let's just put it that way.
you could have wrestled tonight. No one would have known.
Nobody would have known the difference, honestly. It's not like they actually know like Jesus and
Oh,
Jose. Like,
they said
please,
call them Hose A and Hose B because they
done.
didn't know. What a sin.
Fully.
But I literally didn't even notice, and you were like, that's what I'm wearing.
That
And
is
I'm like,
fully the
oh.
outfit I have on currently. Uh, which is crazy. And like and it's becoming a thing like the more Los Boricuas like wrestle, like I cannot stand the inconsistency in what they are called on commentary.
Oh,
Oh my God, the
girl.
whole match is like JR would try so hard. He's like Los Boricuas, and you're like, okay, cool, we're here. And then like as the match continued, like Vince would, I guess, like just slip and like, the Barricas, and you're like, oh my God,
The Boricos. And we're
and
like,
you're like, and like at one point during this thing, and I was like, why does it feel like it's why does it sounding more and more like a slur the more he says it? Like I know it's not like, and I know he's just like bad at pronouncing things in Spanish, but the more he says it, I'm just like, say it again, bitch. Say it
he was
again.
like, yeah, you were like getting ready to fight. You were like, what did you just say?
No, fully. I
And
was like,
he's not even sure what he just said.
no, fully. I was just like, he's just can't pronounce it. Like he's just too white to function.
Yeah.
And like it's not his fault. But your job is commentary. Just saying.
Yeah. Also, I don't know why suddenly you had to say their names so
So
much.
frequently. So
I,
frequently. Like
I
the tag team name. Like you could have just like addressed them by their names,
again,
which
I think
also made
they
me think they didn't know
I
them.
was just gonna say that. I think that they were like, we can either call them by the wrong name because I can't tell which is which, horrible, or we can just horribly mispronounce their team name. And they
Over
went
and
with
over again. They
the
went with the latter. Yes, they did.
yes.
I thought the Boricuas did very well during this match.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was. I like this. I guess kind of like theme that seems to be going with the like headbangers matches where like they just get their ass kicked for like I want to say like 85% of the match
Hmm.
and then pull out a victory at the end. They're like for some reason always isolating Thrasher. Mosh comes in, F some shit up, and then
Everybody's
like
fine.
okay, everybody's fine.
Yep.
Not so much what happened here, but I mean
Very similar.
very similar up until the end.
Hmm.
So I have a note from JR that was pretty funny because he was talking about Hunter Hearst Helmsley and he's like, I'm not saying he's afraid of the Undertaker, but it's probably a good thing that he wears dark pants. And I was like, ooh, ooh, not JR saying Triple H's gonna shit himself. That's
He's
so
gonna poop
funny.
his pants. He's so scared.
Mm,
He's like, I'm not saying he's scared, but I am saying he might shit himself.
crazy.
And that he wouldn't change.
But I will say his bowels are loose. And you're like,
His morals are loose, his bowels are loose. Like, this man is loose.
uh, oh God.
Loose bowels? Crazy.
Crazy. Um, yeah. So this match ends with the Godwins interfering because they are the number one contenders to the WWF Tag Team Championships. So they come in, they attack Los Boricuas, which is hilarious because then they get the victory but lose the match, or they get the victory but don't win the titles. So it will
Yes.
be the Godwins taking on the Headbangers at Bad Blood. So
Yeah.
there we go. That's how that one ends.
Yeah, and they brought out Uncle Cletus in the matching fit. It was hard to
Fully,
tell who was who. You want to talk
really.
about who was who?
Yeah, but again, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and you're right.
All I know is that he's not Hillbilly Jim, so
And you know what? That's
that's
and that's that. That's that.
that on that. Next we are treated to a Hell in a Cell promo, just lightly um decorated with a children's choir.
Girl.
There's like something about children singing that is so creepy to me.
It was perfect for this because it freaked me out. They were singing in like Latin and God only knows what they were saying.
No, just
Horrifying.
witch.
Burn the witch.
Um, crazy. But I thought the promo was great. I think they did a lot of like back and forth of like the attacks that Shawn has done on the on Undertaker. Um the licks Undertaker kind of gets back because the Undertaker never really gets a full never really gets a real victory, you know?
I hate
Um
that. My poor friend the Undertaker.
LOL. That makes it sound like you have like a novel, like My Life with the
My
Undertaker.
life with I'm like my life with the Undertaker. It's just delusion.
Love that. Oh my God, you know what I should make us do? Read the Kane book as like our a book report.
So and we have to come back. Oh, that's a great
Dude,
idea.
I haven't read that in so long. So funny.
I haven't even met this man yet, and the lore is crazy.
I know, can't wait.
Oh,
So Owen Hart, it is announced now that we know the end of the Farooq Ahmed Johnson end of the tournament. It's going to be Owen Hart taking on Farooq for the Intercontinental Championship at Bad Blood.
mm,
And that takes us into our next segment, which is a Owen Hart little like a segment. Love to see it. So Owen comes out with in an Owen 316 shirt, which, you know, great. But what really sells it over the top is the back says, "I just broke your neck."
Girl.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow. What a
You want to
guy.
talk about petty? I'm having merch made.
No,
Having
fully.
merch made about your broken
No,
neck.
100%. Love to see
That's
it.
fierce. Honestly, I was like, this is incredible.
Right. No,
This
it
is
was
how
amazing.
far I want the beef to go. I want us to be making shirts.
T-shirts. I want, yes. Yes.
And
I
they're
want,
well done. Owen 316. Because again, we were saying how the name thing is like played out, but this is the one serve of
no,
like the different name
I want you so
316.
mad at each other, you're like cross-stitching. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes. Late into the night. Fingers
100%.
bleeding from this is gonna
Absolutely.
get him. You
No,
are fusing hate into every stitch of this clothing. I
absolutely.
swear.
So we love to see
Amen.
it. I love that Vince is like half like laughing, like as he like asks this. He's like, "What is wrong with you? You're so
You're
crazy."
so bad.
No,
You're
literally,
so
very
bad.
you're so bad. And you're like, okay, just get on your knees, damn. Like,
Swear.
so he's like, you know that lunatic is like here, like correct? Like
You know he's
referring to
running afoul of the building. Like,
like, yeah, and it's just like, hello,
okay,
what are you
Diva.
doing about it? First of
Swear.
all,
Where is
like,
the commissioner? Where is
great question.
Hello?
So, Owen starts the promo off. He's like, read it and weep. He's like, and I'll do it again, and I'll do it again.
This was one of my favorite Owen segments I have ever seen. He was like he was so like what did I write? Um this is the most rational Owen Hart I've ever witnessed. He was
No,
like so
fully.
like level-headed and I just like
I
everything he
love for
said,
it.
I was hanging on every word.
Mm-hmm.
He looked adorable.
Great. No, it
A
was great.
feast for the eyes. This was a really good one. Definitely I feel like one of my favorite promos he has ever done.
And I love that it's like separate from the Heart Foundation. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I love
Honestly,
that it's
I
his own thing.
I feel like that's such a good point because whenever he's like adding stuff to the Hart Foundation stuff, it always feels so jumbled, but that also could be because it's no offense to Bret Hart, but it's like coming off of Bret Hart and he's honestly no one in the Hart Foundation is really a wordsmith. I'm gonna be real. Like
Right.
no one's really sewing poetry together at the Hart
Right.
Foundation, but Owen on his own is fierce. I love that he has kind of his own little individual beef with Stone Cold. I'm actually very into this. I'm so glad you pointed that out.
Yeah, no, I liked it. I don't know. I just like because I feel like when he's like building off of like a Heart Foundation promo, it's like, yeah, like you can copy, but like change the words a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Wait,
it feels
yeah.
very that.
Change your answers a
Whereas this
little.
is like, I've had time to think about this. I'm coming to the table. Like, here I am. Like that shirt's hilarious.
So
So funny.
funny.
Like,
The armed guard
and you don't do
escort.
that nonsense unless you are the youngest brother of 12. Like, you don't learn to be that petty unless you are like scrapping for your life the entire time.
Fighting to get noticed for how
Right.
petty you
You
are.
know what I mean? Like that's where
Yes.
that comes from.
That scrappiness. And we have always said that about Owen. We've always said he's got that scrappy younger brother thing where it's like, I've been beaten up so much, I gotta do crazy shit to get back.
Right. 100%.
Yes.
And then he
Period.
goes on to address Farooq. He's like, Farooq, you're a great wrestler. He's like, I can out wrestle you with my hands tied. Like, I am that good.
I'm
He's
that girl.
no, and like the thing is like, yeah, because like the Hart family has literally been wrestling, especially Owen
Mm-hmm.
from birth. We're talking like
Birth.
3 years old, like getting put in wrestling moves and learning how to get out of them from like infancy, like
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Like they can literally probably wrestle you with their hands tied behind their backs.
Yes.
So,
And also just in terms of being a technical wrestler versus Farouk, who's more of like just the big man.
right, big power.
Yes, I feel like it's just I'm just telling the truth, girl. Like
Right.
that's just the facts.
Amen. Amen. And then he goes on to address Stone Cold. He's like, this man's trying to ruin my life. He comes out on everywhere. I put a restraining order on him. He's be breaking through the police. He's like, look what he did to you. look what he did to you, Vince. And you're
He
like,
got like a heart to heart with Vince. He was like, I mean, and what he did to you, you have to like do what's right by your job, by yourself, and like fire him. Like he
fully.
had a real honest to God moment of like, listen up, brother. Like
Yeah. He's
this
like,
shit's gotta stop.
no, he's like, you need to do something. You need to make this right. Like, this is not a good workplace environment. And you're like, oh, again, not no, but
Not no. Again, that's why it's so good because it's so true. It's like you love Stone Cold anyway, but you can acknowledge that he is definitely a disruption to the workflow. Like
no,
he's
100%.
definitely a disruption.
He said, stick to the status quo. No, no, no.
Not no. No, no, no. Oh, I hate that you just put that song in my head.
You're welcome. For those of you who don't know, I was making a reference to High School Musical. So
And if you did know that off the bat,
I love you.
hey,
I love you.
hey, what's up, girl?
So as Austin his or no, sorry, as Owen is celebrating his, well done promo, he's up on the top ropes. We get a wide angle shot of the ring. One of the police officers is bald. One of the police officers is Stone Cold Steve Austin. So he rips Owen from the top rope, turns him around, stunners him, gives him the bird, and then like narrowly escapes the rest of the police.
Girl.
So much so that the fans in the crowd were like body blocking the SWAT team going after Stone Cold Steve Austin, and y'all are the real ones.
They
That
said,
y'all are the real ones for that because
yes,
that's crazy.
they said when I was 11, I turned 13 because fuck 12.
Wow, that was amazing. That was
I
amazing.
like I
That was yeah, that was crazy. I love that. I loved it.
yeah.
Just they were just like, oh no, not our guy.
And they were like, no, no, no. And like laughing and having a great time doing it, shoving the
No,
police away.
fully.
And were
Doesn't
they
matter where
really,
in New York. These are New Yorkers.
and they were like, does anyone smell bacon? Oink, oink.
Take it, pig. Oh,
They're like,
so good.
But the
So
best part
good.
about this too is Vince was in the ring, saw it was Stone Cold, was literally next to Owen and decided to just save himself. He was like, oh no, girl,
He
bye.
said, better you than me.
Better. And literally, I said to Xavier, I was like, again, it's not, I have to be the fastest. I just have to outrun the slowest.
No,
And Owen
fully.
Hart was the sacrificial lamb. He said, listen, you just called him out. I just came out here to interview you. Like, I'm not getting involved with this mess. And dipped.
Amen. Well,
Crazy.
so Austin got his. He escaped through the crowd. Owen was left laying. Great, great segment. Great segment all
So
around.
fun. A 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. Could not have been done better.
Yeah.
So that takes us into our main event match, which is The Undertaker taking on Hunter Hearst Helmsley. First, we get a kind of like footage of the cell being constructed for this Sunday. Love to see it. I love a little behind the scenes, like how it's made,
Oh, love.
scenario, kind of always.
I always want to know more. I
Right? Like
always want to be shown more. I want behind the scenes. I
like
want
when we
commentary.
came across that one part in the documentary where they show you like how a ring is assembled, I eat that up. Eat
I
that up.
went back and watched that like 4 times. I was
Because
like,
it's fascinating.
and it's also Taz. It was Taz explaining it, and I love anything he says because he's from New York. So
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like, all right, so the ring is like this, and I'm like, yes,
Yeah,
tell
no,
me
fully.
everything. I
Yeah,
love
oh,
you.
so good. So good. So, of course, Triple H makes his entrance with all of D-Generation X. Love to see it. Next, The Undertaker starts making his entrance, and then he gets attacked by all of the Hart Foundation. And we were like, wait?
Excuse me?
I was like, you came out here earlier, threatened Shawn, and then let him and his happy ass friend make their entrance, and then you attack The Undertaker?
Girl.
The Undertaker? Where's Sergeant Slaughter? What is
The
happening?
Undertaker?
I
How
was like,
dare you?
it's
How
not
dare you let them walk in? You're so real for that, for saying that. Like, you let them walk in after you threatened them,
right.
and
They had crimes they were gonna pay for tonight.
but then,
Tonight.
and this is what I'm saying. If anyone wants to be mad, it should be Undertaker because
What are these?
this man never gets a clean match.
No.
Never.
No. But I mean, in the grand scheme of wrestling, you have to understand why that protects him. Um,
What?
because if he has to be able to lose without
Oh,
losing
I
any
see.
credibility,
I see.
you know?
I see.
But he's too good, he's too big, he's too fast, too strong to just be like having him lose, you know?
Yeah, it's so
So
true.
like they have to come up with all these like ridiculous scenarios to like,
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I
yeah.
know you're right. And also it makes me like fans. You're like, I just
You
want to
feel
see.
for him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. They're just doing they're getting me. It's happening in real time. You're all witnessing it. It's literally
It's
working on
very
me.
true. So of course, so as the Hart Foundation's like attacking the Undertaker, and then Vader and the Patriot come out and attack the Hart Foundation. And they all scurry up the ramp. And we're like, oh, okay, sick. So as they're scurrying, of course, Degeneration X takes the opportunity to then take over attacking the Undertaker. They said, we got shifts. Got it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're on a rotation.
100%. Let's never tire. And so they continue the attack. They eventually, like, Undertaker gets enough of them, like, off of him to make it into the ring. The match actually, ding ding, begins. Of course, DX is cheating the entire time. Anytime the ref's back is turned, Shawn is all over the Undertaker.
Mm,
The Undertaker does the dirtiest choke slam on Triple H. He one hands him and just slams him like he's dunking a
mm,
basketball, which I love to see.
mm-hmm.
Because again, Triple H is 6'4", like 265. Like he's not a small man.
I
Uh
always forget because he's always like with I feel like big people. So then I forget that
he's
he's
a
also big
big dude.
people.
He's a big dude.
6'4" is nothing to sneeze at, girl. That's
No. That's
big.
a big guy.
That's a
Like,
big man. Which also
right.
I'm like, China is also so big.
Yeah, because she's 6 foot.
God, I love her.
So crazy. And of course, so Rick Rude, the insurance policy comes in, smacks the Undertaker in the back of the head with a steel
Like,
briefcase.
the what do you call it? Deal or no deal briefcase.
Fully. Howie, where are you? So he comes in, and in the briefcase is a body bag. We haven't seen a body bag. We haven't seen this little trick in a hot minute.
I
You've
don't think
never
I've
seen this
ever
trick.
baby's first body bag, you guys.
Oh my
Momentous occasion. I wish I
god.
had like a siren, like "Meow, meow, meow, meow."
So, yeah, really fantastic.
Crazy.
Really fantastic.
I knew
So,
there was lore with the body bag. Undertaker used to put the people in it, I believe.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this
There's a
is
lot of that.
when they add insult to injury. Now that's the recipe.
So, yeah, no, honestly.
They add
So,
a little of this to the injury, a little insult.
love that. Love it.
Ouch.
So, Shawn super kicks the Undertaker in the face.
Beautiful super kick.
Always.
Always.
It's always a thing of beauty. They place the Undertaker in the body bag, they zip it up, and then they start celebrating. They're like, "Oh my god, we hit it, we killed him, the dead
The
man's
witch is
dead."
dead.
You know, literally, ding dong. And you're like,
No one mourns the wicked.
and like, but my thing is like, have you not been watching the last 10
I
years?
swear to
You know what I
God.
mean? Like,
They never learn.
never learn. Because of course the dead man sits up in
In
the
the
body
body
bag.
bag, which is so funny, actually. It's like a marshmallow coming to life. It's like,
No, yeah, very that. So he sits up, breaks out of the body bag. They're like beating up on him like anyway. So they're all like fighting, making their way like up the ramp. Shawn Michaels goes to leave the backstage area when there's this very bright red light and smoke coming from the entrance ramp. Not a viable option. If we all remember a couple weeks ago, there was an episode of Monday Night Raw that ended in a bright red light and smoke. So, again, bring just connecting those pieces for those of you who may not have watched or forgot. So, um, there obviously is some foreshadowing there. Shawn is like trying to like escape up. He's like climbing the Titantron like a psychopath. Hunter gets tombstoned on the ramp right on his head. And that's how we end the episode with Shawn like trying to escape the Undertaker by climbing up this giant TV screen.
Which is a tell for the cage match. I mean, he's gonna be like a little spider monkey climbing
No,
up the
absolutely.
cage. That spry
Absolutely.
little man. I am psyched, bitch.
I
Because
know.
and then I accidentally saw the preview for next week's episode because it like says like, oh, you want to play the next one? And it was
Mm-hmm.
it was Kane. You guys, we've been waiting for this.
Uh,
It's been 84 years.
84
I
years.
heard the lore of Cain in one of Father Paul's apoplectic seizure speeches.
No, honestly.
I cannot believe we're here.
Yes.
I
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm just letting you know I earned this.
You
I'm just
absolutely
kidding.
stuck with it, really.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
All right, guys. So next week will be WWE Bad Blood, WWF Bad Blood rather. So it'll be the first Hell in a Cell match ever.
Our
Love
very
to see it. Love to see it. First one for the show, first one for WWF. Can't wait.
such
But
a thrill. So happy to
honestly,
have you guys here.
for real, for real. But this has been another episode of the New to Wrestling podcast. Thank you for listening, watching, subscribing, anywhere you choose to do so. Please do not forget to vote for us for the best wrestling podcast at the Sports Podcast Awards. And yeah, we will catch you on the next one. For Kelsey, I'm Xavier. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.